How's it going, guys? My name's Will from Ghost Hack, and today I'm back with another sound design tutorial where I remade the main screech lead from the track Say My Name by the artist Say My Name. This is what it sounds like. Now, I can't play the track in the video itself for copyright reasons, but I encourage you to either go to YouTube or Spotify or however you listen to music and look up the track Say My Name by Say My Name, because this lead is very, very similar and it's very, very simple to recreate. It's not complicated. I've gotten requests for sounds like this before. It's kind of a topic of confusion for some people, but once you learn how to do it, you can do it in many different ways, and once you understand the concept, you can create a lot of different variations, which are a lot of fun. And I know on this channel I've covered sounds like this in the past, but it is okay because this one is a recreation from an actual track instead of just, my version, my variation of sounds of this sort. So here is the serum patch right here, and I'm going to take you through each individual thing and explain what it's doing. So the concept of this is pretty dang simple. What we're going to do is we're just going to take a saw wave. You can choose other waveforms as well, but a saw wave is the most typical one, and detune it a lot. I have this all the way up to 16. If your CPU is crying after doing this, you can lower it down to maybe around like 9 or 7 or maybe even 5. I don't suggest going much lower than that because the point is to be very, very detuned and screechy. I have the detune here set to 0.54, but I have this macro right here set to put the detune all the way up. You see the macro is all the way up, and have it set for this little bit. I did it to both the oscillators because we're going to do essentially the same thing here, but I just wanted to have a macro to control the detunedness of the whole sound, so you can kind of create some variations in your track if you wish. And the octave is up 1, and the level isn't up all the way. I had to kind of turn it down because we had a lot going through everything, but it sounds like this. Already we're getting somewhere. It doesn't sound quite, clean enough, quite airy enough. It sounds a little too harsh and digital. You can hear the harmonics. We don't really want it that. We want it to be more noisy. But the next thing that I did was I went into this LFO, just created this shape. I turned off BPM and I made sure this was on off so it wasn't restarting, because I just want a vibrato shape. All right. So I made the triangle and I set it to 7.4 hertz. So it's moving around pretty fast. And I set it to the phase here. So I took the phase of when this waveform was starting and stopping, and I'm whipping it around a lot, which acts as kind of a weird sort of vibrato, especially when I pair it with oscillator B, which I'm doing the exact same thing here. You can see the settings are almost exactly the same, except I have the phase moving the opposite direction now. Also, the octave is up a little higher. It's up 2, and I brought the level down a little bit more because we didn't want this one to be louder than the original. But now we have the phases whipping around really fast like this, and they're kind of stacked on octaves, so we have a little more just like crazy noisy movement and just more harmonics that we added to the top to make it sound even more airy. While we're on the subject of airy, we can go ahead and add some noise, which is just this white noise right here, and I don't really drive this too far because the saws that we have going right here are already pretty dang airy. There's a lot of high harmonics there that are noisy. So just adding a little bit of this white. Let's see, I'm at like 25% here. Just a little bit of that seals everything off. It adds just, a little airiness to the top, and I like doing that. But this is a very important next step because, as you can hear, it still sounds synthy. You know what I'm saying? It still sounds very synthy. We can hear kind of harmonic sequences. We don't really want that. We really want it to be even more kind of messy and just like noisy. So I'm going to turn on a Combs filter. All right, I have A, B, and the noise going through this. We're not using this sub here, but the Combs filter is in the MISC tab, and it is located right here. It's similar to the Reverb filter in many ways. You could achieve similar effects by using the Reverb filter, but I like to use the Combs because it usually turns out a little bit cleaner, and you don't have as much of a decaying tail. And if you want a decaying tail, like I kind of do, you can control it with this resonance. So I have the cutoff here at 19 hertz, and I have a little bit of modulation, just 1. I have it up just 1 modulation with LFO1 right here. And this was already too much, right? I already had too much going on. It was whipping around too much. You can see that when I go into the matrix, you can see my LFO1 controlling the filter cutoff. I brought down the output a lot. We only want like like 1/4% for this going on, because the movement of this filter is so dang drastic. You can see it's so weird. If we move the cutoff just 1%, it really does change the sound. So if we're whipping it around really fast, we have to make sure that it's just a small amount. So in this matrix here, this is what it would be like if I went just all the way 1%. And that's not what we want. That's not what's going on. We want it to be down lower, about here. And you can already hear what that Combs filter did. This changed into this. There's that air we really wanted. And it's distorting a good bit because I have the drive up right here, 37%. I just bumped it up to add some more harmonics. The resonance is all the way up. That's a big difference if I would have the resonance down. You can hear the vibrato a little clearer, but it's too clean. I wanted there to be more tail and more kind of decay and messiness to it. Another important thing here is the pan. I have the pan on 33% right here, right? If I were to bring it up to the middle at 50%, then it would be this, which still does sound good. But if you kind of offset it here, I had it at 33 that I said just a second ago, it adds a different cutoff position for each of the sides, right? So when I turn this pan left, the left channel of my headphones, of like the signal, it has a Combs filter that is in a different position than the right channel. We're kind of spreading it out based on the left and right channel. And that makes a very, very nice stereo effect that is used a lot in sounds like these. And now, before I move on to the effects section, let me just show you the effects of having this macro right here. As you can see, the macro is turning the detunes up all the way. You know what I'm saying? They're both on 16 voices, so fully detuned. If I were to turn it down, it would sound like this. Then you can kind of hear the pitch of it. We really don't want that. If you can hear the pitch and you can clearly tell what key it is, it might not be a good version of this sound. It could be good if that's what you were going for, but that's not what's commonly used. But now, moving on to the effects, I have a multiband compressor, which I'm definitely driving through to give this sound more power. I brought the threshold down to -9.2. And as you can see, I brought the high end up a little bit here. I left the mid band basically where it is. And then I brought the low down to 0 because there's a lot of low frequencies that we're going to get rid of in a minute. But this is just really driving it through, making it loud. You can see we're clipping in Serum right here, but I'm going to throw some distortion on it right here. And this is a soft clipper. So we're going to have some subtle distortion going on, and I'm not even mixing it in all the way. I just have the mix up to about 66, just going to make it a little grittier. It adds harmonics. It adds even more sort of noise to the top end. Next thing I have is a phaser, but I'm not using this phaser as a typical phaser. What I'm using it for is I'm using it to shape the harmonic spectrum, because I have the rate all the way down, the depth all the way down, and the frequency all the way down. So that means there's no real phaser poles anywhere in the middle. They're all at the bottom. So what this does is it creates kind of this guitar amp almost effect. It's not quite a guitar amp, but you can hear the difference when I mix it in. We have just certain harmonics that are boosted, especially in the kind of mid to high end. It sort of lowers down, very, very top boosts the mid to high, then sort of rolls off the lows a little bit. It's a nice effect for sounds like this that are very, mid and high heavy. So I left it about just anywhere around 70% will be totally fine. And then after that, I'm going to throw in an EQ, which is just doing two things. First of all, it's rolling off the low end because we still have a lot of messy low end. And then it's also dipping down about -3 right here. And this is around 4,000 hertz. It's kind of a wide bowl though. I just wanted to control the harmonics, especially the ones that were getting boosted by this phaser, because it boosted it a lot. And that, especially in the low end, is going to help clean our sound up a little bit. Next up, we have the hyper dimension, which I'm just adding a little bit of the mix here. I didn't change any of these settings. I'm just adding a little bit of the mix, about 20%, to give it a little more width, you know, some like phasing action flowing around. And then on the dimension, I have the size all the way down, just a little bit of mix here as well. And lastly, for this, I just have a reverb. And reverb is very, very important because this is what's really going to fill out the space, especially those spaces in between. You know, it's very common for these sort of synths to stutter, like have their gaps, and you have to have a reverb in there to fill the gaps. So I have it at like around 40%, and that's a lot of reverb for pretty much any sound, right? It's on the plate reverb because I really like the algorithm that the plate uses. Have the width all the way up. It's very important. You want a stereo reverb. I didn't really mess with the high cut or the low cut much, but I brought the pre-delay all the way down. I didn't want any pre-delay because when we're doing those fast plucks, we don't want to have the pluck end and then you hear the reverb slide up. We want the pluck to be coherent with the tail of the actual sound we have. So if you turn down the pre-delay, it makes sure there's no gap between the sound and the reverb, or at least as little gap as possible. Then I just brought the size to around 35. That may be its default setting, but that's where it's at right now. And now we have a nice reverb. Also, I did add a little bit of attack and a little bit of release here just to make sure that we didn't have any clicking in the beginning or end of the sound. It's not very pleasant to listen to, and especially when you're doing a lot of little bumps, a lot of little stabs. Adding a little bit of that and a little bit of release is totally fine, especially if you have a multiband compressor to kind of bring those transients back. And after that, it's just the EQ that you saw at the beginning of the video, where I'm rolling off the low end, and then I'm just cutting off the very high end. That's just the last thing I did in the sort of cleanup stage of this sound. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. Now, if you have any other requests of specific sounds in specific songs that you would like to know how to make, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We won't be able to get to everyone. However, you may end up in our next sound design video. Just be sure to tell us what the name of the track is, what the artist is, and give us a timestamp and maybe a small description of the sound so we can give the sound a listen, and then I can do my best to recreate the sound inside Serum or another plugin. Now, I cannot guarantee that the sound will be exactly the same to the dot, but I may be able to get pretty close, and we accept sound design requests from pretty much any genre. So feel free to just leave us some ideas down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Happy producing.